Hello everybody, how you doing? Well, I hope you're doing okay, not getting cabin fever just yet. If you are, then hopefully these videos are giving you some entertainment. Probably recommended to start at one and work your way through, but feel free to watch them in whatever order you like. We are now at the quarter-way point before we get to the big century. Which is still incredible, and I think how many of these I've done and how many songs I've analysed and gone through, and in some cases glossed over, that we're still only a quarter of the way through this journey. And in fact, we're 10 years now, almost, to the month, maybe just, I think this was summer 93, so we're just short of 10 months since the first Now. And for the umpteenth time, it seems, in the 25 volumes that we've had so far, the first song is a Queen song. Queen and not Freddie singing, George Michael. This was from the Freddie Mercury tribute concert. Now, I've talked often about how many Freddie-related songs were out in 92. All different combinations of people. I was saying jumping on the bandwagon. I think most of the time it was genuine. And so much support and love for Freddie. That people just wanted to pay their respects. So this is a pretty good cover from an amazing concert, I seem to remember. And it wasn't just about Freddie, it was about raising money for charities, particularly to do with AIDS and HIV. It's a pretty storming version, you can feel the energy. George Michael's definitely at his best when he's doing his big kind of shows in front of a big crowd, like with the Elton one. So yeah, another pretty good way to start the album. Obviously not totally musically reflective of where 93 was at, but these Now albums never really are when they start. They have to build up speed. Okay, let's play this next one then, song number 2. This was pretty much your ultimate one-hit wonder. A band comes along, no one's ever heard of them, they immediately have a massive great hit, and then they never do anything else ever again. Now the stats for this are gobsmacking, actually. Double ABBA Dancing Queen. That's telling you how big this song is in terms of cultural impact. 817 million views. So 0.8 of a billion views. Almost a billion. Yup, 4 Non-Blondes. What's up? Why is this song so popular then? What is it about it? It's one chord sequence that goes over and over throughout the whole song. I don't think there's any deviation. The melody is pretty much ripped off of Bobby McFerrin, Don't Worry, Be Happy. But despite this sort of very unpromising beginning, it's just really popular with people. I kind of like it. They're definitely quirky looking and sounding. They don't really sound or look like anyone else. And in a world of upcoming teen bands and boy bands and stuff, it's nice to see and hear something that's a bit way out like that. So yeah, first classic. Well, in fact, second if you include the old Queen classic. Strong opening. Okay, we follow this one up with another Now mainstay. Really could have come from Now 1, and that's Tina Turner, I Don't Want to Fight. It's yet another song with the soul-to-soul beat, and I think it just proves how important that beat was, that even people like Tina Turner now, deeply established artists, are kind of using it as a fundamental. And again, it's although it's a kind of dancey beat, you wouldn't call it dance music or a dance song in any way. It's kind of a Tina strong woman song, very mature again. Her lyrics, certainly I think the last few songs that they've chosen for Tina have really been good songs in reflecting who she is. And it's pretty anthemic, and it's a good song actually, but I don't think it's that well known. Now, one that's definitely well known, another one that's going to have an awful lot of views, and a bit like this one, it's like, why did this song 93's shaping up so far to be a song with the biggest hits of the most unlikely ones. No real obvious kind of so they're not particularly good looking people or anything. They're not very ugly, it's not for me to say anyway, but they're not like glammy. That was 4 Non-Blondes. Here's Ace of Base. This one's only had 79 million views. Only 79 million views. Another song that really, really popular to this day. Really popular. What is it about it? Well, it's like I guess you'd call it Swedish reggae if such a thing exists. It really is the missing link between Aswad and ABBA. Yeah, it's very sparse in its instrumentation. Yet again, for the umpteenth time, and not the first time on this album, it's got the Eric B and Rakim breakbeat, paid in full, with some other percussion behind it. Hardly any instruments, just a sort of light reggae. She definitely had her own sound. You could always hear her vocals. And another wedding disco classic. Right when this came out throughout the 90s, this one would be popular. Probably still today, to be honest. Yeah, interesting. Okay, we follow that up with another one that made number one, maybe not quite as well known nowadays. Dreams, Gabrielle, do you remember her? She had a few songs. Dreams, quite folky. Just a sort of acoustic guitar song. And in a similar kind of ilk, a song that didn't even make the charts. So very early on the Now album to have one that wasn't really a hit. Lena, full name Lena Fiagby, and the song was called You Come From Earth. And it's kind of, yeah, like Dreams, it's quite folky. It's post-Tasmin Archer, I suppose, in terms of paradigms. Tasmin Archer, Sleeping Satellite, set the paradigm. New breed of young black women from Britain, from England, kind of folky, soul-y songs. But, yeah, they were, I don't know, a bit bland, maybe some of them. Lena's certainly not heard nowadays, but it's pretty good. Everybody Hurts, REM. I'm not going to play it, but how many millions of views? Let's see if we can just see the stats. I think you'd definitely say it's a classic. It's also the first REM song to feature on one of these. It's a genuinely emotional song, and I think it's pretty resonant now. Maybe I should play it. It's just that I've got a lot to get through, and we're going to be running behind. If you want to hear REM, Everybody Hurts, look it up. It's only 67 million views. So we've had a real run of songs that have had a genuine cultural impact so far. Yeah, Everybody Hurts. It's a really beautiful ballad. Regret, New Order, they're back with one of their very few 90s songs. Pretty good, almost up to the 80s standard. Pretty much in that paradigm. I'll tell you what, it's either REM or New Order. I will play REM. I wasn't going to, but I will. Do you like how well rehearsed this is, and how planned and how meticulous, and how everything goes to a good running order? And I know exactly what I'm going to play. And do you like how I drop all the intros and everything really tightly? Of course not. It's totally slapdash. We can always re-edit them. Where was I? Yes, New Order, Regret. Pretty good song, actually. Pretty good 90s song for them. Okay, yet more Freddie Mercury, and I'm really not complaining. It just shows his legacy, really. Living on My Own. This song again made number one. It was originally a solo single by Freddie. I don't think it even made the chart. It was pretty unmemorable. But then there's a pretty stellar remix of it. Kind of dancey, quite Euro dance, really. They didn't really do that much to it. And Freddie's vocals just really dominate. But a big dance song. Another good wedding disco one. Freddie Mercury, Living on My Own. Nice to hear Freddie doing his more kind of dancey stuff as well, which he did from time to time with his solo things. Okay, I Will Survive, Gloria Gaynor. Wow. Following on from Sister Sledge, it's another very 93 remix. We're going to get a lot of that through this year. 93 house remix of an old 70s disco song. Perfectly well done. Pretty much keeps true to the original. Keeps the kind of slow intro. You can still do karaoke to it if that's your bag. Right, another one. Now, a new song. Inner Circle with Sweat. They'd been around for a fair old while on the reggae scene, and as part of the resurgence of reggae, they had a really big kind of semi-novelty-ish song, a la 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 long, a la 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 long, long, that one. Another personal anecdote. I told you in the last one I was doing working experience for the Big Breakfast, and one of my jobs was to be a runner for Zoe Ball, of all people. Who, before she was going out with Fatboy Slim, before she became in front of the camera, she was working there, and she had a lot of promotional stuff, and she had a copy of it, Sweat, Inner Circle, and she gave me a copy, I was like, oh, don't you like it or something? And she's like, no, I hate it. I find it makes me physically sick. So there you go. Zoe Ball didn't like it, but it was a big hit. Anyway, right. And I guess the reason it made her physically sick, if we're going to be serious for a moment, is some of the lyrics. She just thought they were really gross. Girl, I'm going to make you sweat and stuff. I don't know. What do you think? Debate in the comments. Right, Tease Me, Chuckademus and Pliers. Reggae's really going big time, dancehall now. Murder She Wrote is one of the all-time dancehall tunes. And Tease Me, a kind of more poppy variant on it. Can we stick it on? It feels a bit sacrilegious cutting this one short. But I wasn't even going to play it, so enjoy the 2 minutes you had of it. Sorry. Yeah. Tease Me, Chuckademus and Pliers, who were an unlikely pair. They had a few songs, actually, and they had a good kind of double act between them. One guy did the really high, sweet, soulful singing, him, and then the other guy did the low, kind of foghorn, growling stuff. Yeah. Quite a skanker. And another one in a similar paradigm, Lucy Lou and Mitchie One doing the old Isley Brothers Come Lulu song, Shout. I think Shaggy O Carolina, I'd said that started the ball rolling with a lot of those 60s kind of dancehall things. Talking of dancehall, it's really, really coming into its own here, actually. Shabba Ranks and Maxi Priest, not a cover, pretty good duet. Again, you've got a similar kind of dynamic to Chuckademus and Pliers. You've got the sweet, silky soul vocals with the kind of gruff foghorn ragga stuff. Yeah. The thing about this stuff, and I'm not going to go all SJW on it, far from it. But some of the lyrics could spill over into stuff that really does kind of raise your eyebrows. Some of the attitudes. Shabba Ranks, indeed, got hauled over the coals by Mark Lamar on the word for some of his homophobic lyrics. I don't want to hate on the songs of the genres for attitudes that I might not share. As I've said before, I don't really care about people's politics or their religion or sexuality. If the music's good and it adds to the music, then I generally give it the benefit of a doubt. So with a lot of this dancehall stuff, I give it the benefit of a doubt. I'll like it unless I hear anything in it that's like, really, oh God, what are you doing? Right, anyway. So, yeah, culture and music. I think it is important. I think it is relevant. You can't gloss over this stuff if you do hear stuff that's like, raises questions. Especially if you're doing talks about it. That's what it's all about. Right, now, we totally shift now to Duran and Come Undone. Now, they've really come good, actually. I'm going to play this one. Actually, yeah. Come Undone. Duran. They've really come good, belatedly and unexpectedly. And this is another song that uses the same old Eric B beat. And it is getting a bit kind of tired by now. It's like, we know this beat so well. So many people have used it. Can you hear it? But they've basically kind of gone more indie. Other than the beat, it's pretty indie sounding. It's almost like The Cure or someone. And it's actually a really, really good song. And I'm really surprised it's had 56 million views. That's a hell of a lot. And first comment, 2020, who's enjoying it too? Wow. 4.6 thousand people. 4,000 people still listening to it in 2020. Me too. Moi, me. I'm in my zone, loving this jam. It's 2020 and this song sounds strangely modern now, like it could have been released today. And 1,000 people have agreed with that. This song will have a cover in 2020. Wow. Really interesting, actually. I was not expecting this one to be so resonant. Even with me, I'm really enjoying it. Duran, what have you guys done? You're on the very first Now. You're on Now 25 with a song that people are still really, really enjoying to this day. Good stuff. Wow, alright. And that's why I like doing these videos myself. I like being surprised. Anyway. Next up, another erstwhile veteran of the Now albums, Paul Weller. And he's back with a bloody great song. Really, really good song. Sorry to cut Duran short, but this is great. It's, I think, one of his first solo songs, if not his very first, after the Jam and the Style Council. It's just Paul Weller and band, and it's Sunflower. Sorry, guys. This is a really, really good song. Loved it then, love it now. And again, he's kind of harking back a bit to the 60s and 70s. It's a really raw sound, but it's still very 93. And we're almost getting to proto Britpop time now. What I really enjoy doing these videos is where you just see the little green shoots, the seeds of future genres before they've really crossed over, and it really helps contextualize where they're coming from. So yeah, with stuff like on the last one we had World Party, and with this now we're really getting to the roots of what would be Britpop. This is just classic stuff. This is really, really good song. We follow it up with another indie one. Let's stick it on. I've only just started this. It's Kingmaker and 10 Years Asleep. I think it's pretty much the only song I had. It was quite student disco-y. It's not really that well remembered now. Let's just stick it on. Sorry, Paul. Check it out if you like that. Yeah, very jangly, quite folky. Kingmaker, 10 Years Asleep. Right, I hope you like your indie, because that's the last you're going to see of it now on this album. We go dancey for side 2. And boy, do we go dancey. Now, dance music's been a bit underrepresented. And actually, no, to be fair, there's only a few dance songs before it goes a bit shit. So let's enjoy them while we've got them. Tribal Dance, 2 Unlimited, doing a 2 Unlimited shtick yet again. They always pick kind of one like theme or motif for their songs and then just put the same sounds. And with Tribal Dance, it's probably got a few kind of tribal bongos and things as a concession to all that. Not as good as, well, it's just any other 2 Unlimited song really. Love for Love, Robin S follows that, which is a pretty identical follow-up of Show Me Love. It's still good because it's Robin S. And it sounds just like Show Me Love, which is one of the best dance songs of all time. But it's kind of rearranging stuff. It's not really doing anything new. Very much a follow-up. When I'm Good and Ready by Sybil, which really does sound like something from Fawlty Towers, doesn't it? I'm busy, Basil. When I'm Good and Ready. Yeah, it was not bad. I remember it was quite popular at the time. I don't think it's really popular now. Again, it's this sort of 90s variant of Stock Aitken and Waterman where it's a bit less cheesy than before, but it's still just a bit kind of like, I don't know, kind of naff, handbags around dancing around the handbags kind of stuff. But she, you know, Sybil was good, and she had a good voice. Just the songs were a bit, you know, handbaggy. Right, talking of which, Dannii Minogue, This Is It. Do you really want me to review this? I was saying there was a lot of 70s songs back again, and this is just an absolute bog standard 90s carbon copy 70s cover. Sorry, drop the camera. That's what Dannii Minogue does to you. Right, next up we've got The Ultimate High by The Time Frequency. Now, I didn't really remember it at the time. I had a quick listen and I was blown away because like this is the nearest we get to happy hardcore on a Now album, certainly for the time being. And I think it's definitely an interesting slice of culture. This is certainly one of the most ravey songs on a Now for a while. And, you know, if you only got your musical history from these videos, it really wouldn't reflect how popular rave still was. It was really just transcending everything. SL2 and stuff had kind of kick-started jungle and the more breakbeaty side of hardcore. But on another level, you had happy hardcore now. And this really has got all the elements you associate from hardcore. It's just got that euphoric piano now. What is it about hardcore that uses those cheesy sounds that sound awful in soul, but they kind of work in hardcore? I think because it is electronic music, it's not pretending to be soul. It's uber electronic. It's hyper electronic. What the electronics are what makes it what it is. Yeah, I'm buzzing listening to this. I mean, yeah, it's on the more commercial side of it, but it's got a hardcore vibe, definitely. It just needs a few more BPM, really. I'm sure there was a few BPM up, a few remixes. It took us up to about 160 BPM. Yeah, kind of retro. It really just takes me back, actually. I really like it. Feel good stuff. But then it goes, shit, we've got John Cicada and Do You Really Want Me, which isn't the Culture Club song. It's a follow-up to the very bland, what was it called? I can't even remember it, the one that was on a few nows ago. Just Another Tear or something. Yeah, John Cicada, Yawn. Right, another one that really should have been lumped together with Dannii Minogue, Kim Wilde, If I Can't Have You. These 70s covers are getting silly now, and it does seem that people like Dannii Minogue and Kim Wilde, they're just kind of using them to kind of keep their careers kind of plodding along in the light of any actually being able to do any proper music. I do like the original of If I Can't Have You by Yvonne Elliman, if that's any consolation, and I do like Kim Wilde, but just pointless. Right, here's another weird cover. East 17 and West End Girls. See what they did there? How clever. Another one that's kind of a bit too postmodern for its own good. Really pointless. Just something that sounds good on paper. This now section is getting really bad. This is one of the worst run of songs on any now. I'm almost going to give up. I really don't know if there's any more decent songs left. It's really dire stuff now. Nothing My Love Can't Fix, Joey Lawrence, some American teeny bopper guy, some sort of swing beat kind of thing. No, actually, I like this one, F You Were Somewhere, but it really wasn't a hit. It's totally obscure. It's funny. How can I explain it? I might even stock it on just for the Sonics, although you really have to listen to it because it's going to be two people talking over each other. Yeah, it's kind of funky house with this very quirky girl talking over it. And she's just sort of talking about her life, really, and talking about boys and stuff. And it's kind of funny. She does quite a lot of one-liners and stuff in it. It's not really a joke song. It's quite kind of credible in a way. It reminds me a bit of a better version of Kissing with Confidence on Now One. That had that also, the sort of talking stuff on it. I think it's the groove of this. It's just, the music's fairly proper. It's kind of, yeah, more funky piano house. Very strange song. But when a song that made 43 in the charts is the best song around, it really doesn't say a lot for the others. Sade with No Ordinary Love, which breaks the cardinal rule of pop music, which is if you put the word ordinary in your song title, it's going to be ordinary. I've never heard an interesting song with the word ordinary in the title. And No Ordinary Love by Sade. I'm surprised she didn't make any of the Now albums in the 80s, actually, to be fair, because that was her heyday. This I Swear by Richard Derbyshire, who was the singer from Living in a Box. And he's doing more of a sort of tepid 90s version of soul, white soul, blue-eyed soul, I guess you call it. Yawn. Right, OMD, who should know better, are back with one of their worst songs. Another one that sounds good on paper, very 90s, postmodern. Let's do the Barry White Love Unlimited thing, the Loves theme, and let's build a new song around that. They really needn't have bothered. Oh dear. Right, okay, passably good. D-Ream, You Are the Best Thing. They would go on to huge cultural importance with Things Can Only Get Better, that we'll come on to. Musically, You Are the Best Thing was pretty good, actually. It was pretty more housey sort of stuff. Good lyrics, good vocals, an actual song rather than just a groove. That was followed by another fairly good piano house one, Caught in the Middle by Juliet Roberts. Yeah, this piano-y house stuff, it was either shit covers or good originals. The new stuff was better than the old stuff in a way. Right, another adequate one before we have a good strong ending, which we really need. This side has been a real curate's egg. We Three, Break from the Old Routine, which was kind of almost acid jazz, semi-hip-hop, UK, a bit like with Stereo MCs, quite conscious. We're certainly having a break from the old routine. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Break from the old routine. And I've not heard this song for a fair old while, yeah. I just thought it might play it because it might be quite relevant to now. Right, now we follow this with a couple that are really culturally relevant again, maybe more than they were at the time, looking back on them. Next up, we've got I Want You by Utah Saints. And yeah, basically, this one is it reminds me of the film The Lawnmower Man, if you've seen that. It's really now almost at the verge of the internet age. I think maybe it's starting to come in here and there. And basically, kind of cyber punk stuff's coming through now. And no band would be better placed to sort of take care of that than Utah Saints, who'd already shown their kind of rock, dance, stadium house stuff. This one's less kind of gimmicky and less jokey, and it actually a bit harder hitting. It's almost like proto big beat. It's pretty ahead of its time, actually. And after some of the dross on this side, it's nice to have something harder. Okay, we follow this one up with a very future thinking song. And after all these 70s rehashes, it's nice to have one that's actually about the future again. It's Zeros and Ones. It's Jesus Jones. They're back after a little break with a song that's really relevant. And yeah, basically it's a song all really about the internet, I'd say, about the information age. It's another one that kind of combines sort of cyberpunk aesthetic, and it's almost proto big beat again. I was just going to read out some of the lyrics. I thought they're really resonant. By the way, I'm liking this, a break from the old routine. This is really good. Zeros and Ones. Here we go. Yeah, I just thought these words are really good. This time we've split the world once more. There's those that have and don't in information wars. We're not alone because all is known and it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Zeros and ones will take us there. This is from 1993. And bearing in mind Alex Jones in InfoWars, to hear the expression information wars in a pop song in 93, I think that's pretty forward thinking. So we end now 25, and this feels like it's been a really weird video. I feel like it's had some of the worst bits of now that I've ever done, but I also feel that it's had some really forward thinking and stuff that would pave the way for other stuff. So this is one of those albums that when it's good, it's really good. When it's bad, it's absolutely dire. Let's end with Zeros and Ones. I think that's a good ender. Yeah, that was good actually. Zeros and Ones. Jesus Jones. Yeah, so a proper curate seg of an album. And I'm going to go through what's really stood the test of time, I think. Well, Somebody to Love. I think it's a good memorial of the Freddie thing. What's Up by Four Non Blondes. I wouldn't say it's a personal favourite, but it's absolutely a classic. All That She Wants by Ace of Base. Yeah, that's definitely a classic. I think Dreams, Gabrielle's a bit forgotten now. I wouldn't really call that a classic. What else have we got? Everybody Hurts by R.E.M., absolutely. I think Regret by New Order's a minor classic. I think Living on My Own by Freddie. Well, I Will Survive was a classic anyway. Swear a la la long if it doesn't make you physically sick. Tease Me if you like your reggae. Come Undone. That's a resurgence song, I think. Sunflower, Paul Weller, that's a kind of connoisseur's choice. Then we've got this kind of mare run. The Ultimate High by Time Frequency. If you like your rave and your hardcore, check that one out. Then you've got a load of obscurities. I think Break from the Old Routine, that sounds pretty good still. And then the two at the end, I wouldn't say they're classics, but they're really interesting if you want to hear just the very beginning of kind of cyber internet era, and a welcome influx of something new. So there we go, now 25. When I looked at it at first, I thought this might be my weakest album to date. And certainly bits of it are. But there's enough good songs and interesting songs that you could easily get one good disc out of this. And it's definitely sort of showing a progress into mid-90s stuff now, and some stuff that is really, sort of lasted to this day. So, there you go. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you, everyone. See you later.